Friends, today we discuss about intact master is frequently asked questions. So, in our first video we discuss in our previous video we will discuss what is IC and IC and little bit IC examples for like option amplifier, voltage regulator, timer IC, logic gates. A very brief concepts we learned. Now we learned some questions which were comes in our mind. Frequently asked questions. With what is a monolithic IC? A monolithic integrated circuit is a complete circuit of a group of circuits manufactured in a single piece of silicon. What do integrated circuits do? An integrated circuit is a small chip that functions as an oscillator, amplifier, microprocessor, or computer memory. What are so we can be back. Okay, what are integrated circuit important? Integrated circuits revolutionized the electronic industry and made way of devices such as computers, CD player, televisions, and many appliances around the home. In addition, the speed of the chips helped to bring advanced electronic devices to all parts of the world. What is the difference between a semiconductor and an IC? IC is a thin device made of silicon that contains at least two interconnected semiconductor devices. On the other hand, a semiconductor is a substance with electrical properties intermediate between a good conductor and a good insulator. List of components of the IC. An IC consists of the following components: resistor, diode, transistor, capacitor, conducting pathway that connect all above listed component. Resistor, diode, transistor, capacitor. So we will discuss some other website. So you can see on screen this type of boards. Integrated circuits are a keystone of modern electronics. They are the heart and brain of most circuits. They are the ubiquitous little black chips you find on just about every circuit board. Unless you are some kind of crazy analog electronics wizard, you are likely to have at least one IC in every electronic project you build. So it's important to understand them inside and outside. Absolutely, yes. And IC is a collection of electronic component, transistor or resistor, capacitor, all stuffed into a tiny chip and connected together to achieve a common goal. They come in all sorts of flavored single circuit, logic gates, op-amp, 555 timer, voltage regulator, motor controller, microcontroller, microprocessor covered in this tutorial. We will cover in this the make of an IC, common IC packages, identify ICs, commonly used ICs. Integrated circuits are one of the most fundamental concepts of electronics. They are built on some previous knowledge through, so if you are not familiar with these topics, consider reading this tutorial first. What is a circuit? Every electrical project starts with a circuit. Don't know what is circuits? We were here to discuss in. You can also watch my previous video lectures. Diode, polarity, capacitor. Inside the IC, when we think integrated circuits, little black chips are what come to mind. But what inside that black box? So you can see the IC inner portions. This is a very complicated. The real meat of an IC is a complex layering of semiconductor, wafer, copper, and other material which interconnect to form transistor, resistor, or other component in a circuit. The cut and form combination of this wafer is called a die. While the IC itself is tiny, the wafer of semiconductor and layers of copper is consist of are incredibly. This is the inner portion of IC. So we back to our topic. While the IC slab is a tiny, the wafer of semiconductor layer of copper is consists of. So here an IC is the circuit is the smallest possible or too small to solder or connect to make or job connected the IC easier. We package the die IC packages funds that dedicate tiny die into the base chip we are familiar with. When the packages are encapsulated the integrated circuit die and play it out and device. We can easily connect to each outer connection die is connected with a tiny piece of gold wire with pin on the package. Pin are the silver fixed terminal on the IC which goes to connect the part of circuit. These are the most important, yes, because they see what will go to connect rest of components and wires in a circuit. So there are many types of packages in which unique dimensions, mounting types, and pins. DDPAC, DPAC, DIP, SOP, SW, FW. There are very different types of IC available. All IC are polarized and every pin is unique in the board location and function. This means the package has to have some way to convey with in which most IC will use either a notch or a dot indicate which pin is the first pin. Sometimes one or the other. Once you know where the first pin is, the remaining pin number increases closely as you move contact away around the chip. One of the main disgusting package type characteristic is the way that mount to a circuit pairs. All packages fall into one of two mounting types: through-hole or surface mount. Through-hole packages are generally biggest and much easier to work with. They are designed stuck through one side of the board and soldered on the other side. Surface mount package range in size from SM. They are all designed to sit on one and be soldered to the surface. The pins of assembly package either execute or to the side perpendicular to the chip. IC in this factor are not very hand assembly friendly. They usually require special tools to add in the purpose. Dual inline package. DIP is short for dual inline package. In the most common through-bale hole, we will encourage little chips have two parallel rows of pins perpendicular